Right off the bat, let me know in the comments what your favorite accessory is for the iPad Pro, because today we're checking out a bunch of mine, and that just means one thing. It's time to accessorize. So let's check it out. First up, literally the thinnest case possible for the iPad Pro. This is the SwitchEasy CoverBuddy case, and given how little case there is, it's surprising they still line the inside with a soft microfiber finish, a very appreciated detail. But for reference on how lanky this case actually is, it's like as thick as my fingernail, just this sheet of wobbly plastic, which goes for the whole case. And although I love the matte black finish, it's these 3 dots you may recognize that makes this case useful, corresponding to the smart connector on the back of your iPad Pro. But not only that, embedded inside this thin sheet of plastic, magnets, which essentially simulates the backside of an actual iPad Pro while providing some actual coverage for the real deal. Plus, they went ahead and added a pencil holster too. And I ain't complaining, because now it won't fall off by simply touching it anymore. Seriously, this case is slim. Just look for yourself. So at best, it offers plenty of scratch resistance, but there isn't any type of drop protection built in, so you probably should treat it as if you didn't have a case on at all, which may seem counterintuitive to even having a case on, except if you use this, the Apple Smart Keyboard Folio. As you know, you can't use regular cases with it, but thanks to the fake smart connector and magnets built into the case, now you can. That super thin case doesn't add any bulk when the keyboard is folded away, although my single gripe is the tiny USB-C cutout, which can limit you from using thicker cables, but a trade-off I'm willing to make for the ultimate keyboard combo. A secure pencil storage so it's not flopping around in your bag, and edge protection, the one exposed area when using the keyboard, all at the cost of no added girth to the keyboard whatsoever. The case also doesn't get in the way when using the keyboard. Most importantly, you can still detach the keyboard like it's a naked iPad, something most other cases aren't able to do. And yes, wabam, it also works with the new Magic Keyboard too. In the end, you're really just paying for that edge coverage, something all keyboard users are too familiar with being worried about, and so the CoverBuddy has you, well, covered, without sacrificing the freedom of your iPad being an iPad. Straight up, I was never a fan of sleeve accessories, until I met this, the Nedrelow Magic Sleeve, which I discovered on Reddit, made by a creator out of Brooklyn, New York, who loves the use of wool felt. This soft, dense, water-resistant, biodegradable, you know, all the good stuff words, it's in wool. But what makes this sheet of wool special? The whole edge is lined in magnets, and unfolding, it converts to a desk mat, which is amazing not only because it makes it doubly useful, but the keyboard folio material notoriously gets dirty the moment you lay a finger on it. If you use the pencil a lot as well, the magnets along the edges also act as a holster when you set it down. Sure, you can just mount it onto your iPad, but that just isn't as cool. When you're done pretending to be productive, no zippers, velcros, or buttons, simply fold it in half and you guessed it, wabam. Thanks to magnets running the whole length of it, it seals the whole thing shut, and there's just something super satisfying about seeing it align perfectly every time. It literally closes itself. It's clumsy proof. Not only that, the wool is shockingly dense, which means we had to test it, and I've never felt more confident throwing my iPad in anything as much as I do with this. It never opened itself, and you can just tell as the wool absorbs most of the shock. Of course, don't go dropping this for fun like I do. Just know that you can confidently toss your iPad into a bag without having to worry about damaging it. Plus, thanks to the free-form construction of what essentially is a wool towel, you can carry a few additional flat accessories too. The magnets are strong enough to keep everything in place. My favorite combo goes to my notebook and iPad together, which is quite a thick boy combo, but this handles it like a champ. Finally, like they say, the apple to top off the snowman, the only branding is his brand name on the inside, keeping the whole package looking sleek and letting the wool material be the star of the show. Now, you've probably seen dbrand skins and plenty of best accessory videos, but in case you haven't, they basically make my favorite skins thanks to their quality, amount of designs available, and the precise cutouts in each one. Plus, they do offer matte finishes as well, which all hand sweaters can rejoice at. And while I've got a clean panda combo on this iPad, which is obviously in the matte black finish because it's obviously the most exciting and vibrant choice, they just released this. Yes, frame skins. If you're the type to go caseless but want to spice things up still, now you can full 360. I've got the matching white for the full on panda effect, and like their back and camera cutouts, the precision here is just as detailed. This solves the one issue I had with dbrand skins, the lack of coverage around the edges. Now I don't have to worry about sliding my iPad around, tossing it into my bag, or carrying it with other things alongside it. Do note though, that doesn't mean it offers any sort of drop protection still, but if you're super careful with your electronics like I am and want to stay as minimal as possible, dbrand has now given you something you probably didn't know you wanted. And the edges do come in the same array of styles available on the back skins, even the wood finish if you're rustic like that. Actually, I take that back. Upon further inspection, a wood frame skin is actually fire, but you can totally go crazy on any other color that tickles your fancy. This next one is thanks to the sponsor of this video, Paperlike. Basically, it's a screen protector that makes writing or drawing on your iPad feel like actual paper. It's hard to explain, but it feels smooth while still offering a slight texture on the screen now, and you can actually hear the difference too. The improvement is most notable when compared to the regular iPad. The glossy glass-like finish works, but isn't natural, like compared to real paper. You can hear and feel that familiar pencil to paper action. Look, this won't suddenly make you a better artist, but you'll definitely feel like one. That's not all. When using the iPad, thanks to the matte finish, even under direct lighting, you won't get that nasty glare or reflection as it diffuses way better compared to the glossy finish of your iPad. And if you perspire through your fingers a lot, don't worry, like a matte black skin, this matte screen protector keeps your screen fingerprint free, something we're all too used to having to wipe away on a regular screen. Plus, that nano dot tech they utilize doesn't harm the Apple Pencil tip as much as a hard glass surface does, so now you can draw for longer and perfect your masterpiece. Link in the description down below. If you or your parents had a laptop before the year 2000, you probably recognize this red dot. It's a mouse built dead center into this Lenovo trackpad keyboard. While many people have hated it because, well, it's inferior to even a touchpad, I've personally learned to love it. Ergonomically speaking, it's excellent. The mouse is literally a finger away, while the left, right, and scroll keys are right where your thumb naturally rests. That means you can stay in this one position for the whole day and pretend to get all your work done, compared to all those other fools who have to use two peripherals, using up all that energy to fling your arms around just so you can send an email, although the lighting on this keyboard is pretty wicked. The point is, it's wasted muscles, and thanks to iPadOS accepting mice input, you've got an all-in-one package in this keyboard. Type away your favorite haikus and then swing your finger one key to the left for instant access to the mouse. Better yet, it also doesn't discriminate against lefties either. While the keyboard wasn't designed for the iPad, a few of the media keys still work all the same, like the volume and screen brightness controls. And you may be thinking, well, the Apple Magic Keyboard is just as convenient with a built-in trackpad. Well, sure, if you want to pay 3 times the cost and be restricted to Apple's beautiful design language, but we all don't bleed money. Plus, this keyboard is still a regular Bluetooth keyboard that you can use on any of your other devices too. Win-win. Fun fact, my parents didn't force me to play piano as a child, because, you know, Asian stereotypes. But because I didn't have a miserable childhood, I've actually been yearning to play the piano in my late 20s now. That's where the ROLI LUMI keyboard comes in handy. ROLI isn't new to making keyboards either, but the LUMI is specifically designed for those who, well, don't know what they're doing whatsoever. When connected to their dedicated iPad app, they've got full-on courses to get you up and running for dummies like me who have never touched a key in my life. Going through each of these courses, you'll at least get the basics down, which is important because after that, they've got a whole selection of songs to play through, key by key. It's basically like playing DDR, using your fingers and with over 20 keys to handle. Essentially, the LUMI makes learning the piano actually fun to do, which is personally important for me when trying to learn something new. It becomes less about being the next Mozart and more about beating my last high score, the only way I know how to become better at anything. This editor's key LumaFusion keyboard cover for the Apple Smart Keyboard Folio is, well, a very specific accessory. It's for those who like to edit video on their iPad and who use the Smart Keyboard Folio because it's only compatible with that keyboard layout. It's just this thin layer of rubber that's molded to the keys so that they stay in place. It doesn't affect the usage of the keyboard and still fits when the whole case is closed, adding no bulk even with the aforementioned SwitchEasy CoverBuddy case on. When in use for beginners or power users, you'll be able to appreciate every keyboard shortcut outlined on every key available. It's even color-coded for what needs a modifier key to access and others that are just a click away. Plus, since this whole cover is just a thin layer of rubber, it keeps your actual keyboard fresh. Then just rinse this under the sink and you've got fresh keys for your next intense iPad editing session. Now this last one is interesting, because although the Sensel Morph looks like a large touchpad or graphics tablet, this whole black panel can kind of become anything, hence its name, Morph. Now to fully utilize this beast, you'll want to connect it to an actual computer, but on the iPad, it starts off as a regular large touchpad. Browsing around, clicking, scrolling, it's all there, albeit a little janky, but it'd be a waste to just use it as a mouse anyways. That's where these overlays come in. A simple piece of rubber that magnetically aligns itself in place, and now you've got a full keyboard and touchpad combo. Similar to the Magic Keyboard layout, it's no mechanical keyboard with a perfect typing experience, but the fact that it went from nothing to now being a full keyboard is pretty incredible. It doesn't end there though. Sensel offers a range of creative inputs, like this piano overlay. With multi-input recognition, you can go full Mozart on this with all 10 fingers. Combine it with your favorite music making software, and you've got the thinnest piano, keyboard, and touchpad combo available. Need some drums? Wabam! The Morph is also able to take a beating to simulate actual drums, plus with the 20,000 sensors built in, it can easily differentiate between light taps to the real bangers. They've got a whole range of overlays to choose from. Each one auto-magically tells the Morph how to lay out the inputs based on the layout of the overlay, and thanks to the magnetic connections, it means you now have a set of drums, a piano, and if you're like smart and stuff, you can actually create your own layout with just a piece of paper. This is the ultimate touchpad that can transform to whatever you want, wherever you want, while taking up less space than your actual iPad. Again, let me know what your favorite iPad accessory is in the comments down below, but that's it. I rest my iPad accessories.